Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 252. I hope you guys had a good day and are doing better than yesterday. But the time is currently 5:33, and it is Monday, another new week, so pretty goddamn excited. And yesterday night, I had perhaps the best sleep. I didn't wake up, and I had perhaps the weirdest dream also. But I guess that's a good sign because that means today I'll be clear, I'll be training hard at the gym. Now I have no idea why this has to do with anything, but I can feel it already. And today I am going to train hard because my deload week is finished. I feel great. I don't feel as fatigued. My muscles don't feel as sore. So super excited to put on some new muscle. Super excited to put some new progress into what I had already built. So today is going to be a fun day. So let's get into it. I'll see you guys in a bit.
So guys, it is currently 8:55 and I must say today's workout session was absolutely amazing. Although I was a bit weaker, it felt absolutely amazing. And that is the result of having a deload week. That is the result of having a week where you can dedicate your time to reduce that fatigue, to reduce that soreness and all the damage you had done to your body. And not only would that help me in my workout, but having a deload, having a fatigue reduced session will help me perform much better in my cognitive work, in my mental space. So that is exactly what I want to do today also. That is to excel at what I do every single day, my work, to learn, to better retain knowledge. And I believe to do that is to have an optimal lifestyle. And I know that people get hate for having an optimal lifestyle, how some people may say you have to sometimes just go all in and that routine and schedules don't really matter. And although that's true to some aspect, like if you're really in a deep work zone, you don't want to distract yourself and say, oh, my time's up and I have to be optimal, so let me just stop doing this and do what I have to do. No, like if you are in a very focused state and you know you can push through it, then go for it. By all means, right? Don't stop if you have to stop. But just bear in mind that if you choose to push past your optimal zone or whatever that time period is, say for like you work for 3 hours and at the time you feel like you do another 2 hours and you push through your optimal zone, go by it. But just know if you do that, be prepared that some other areas of your life will suffer. An example will be if you're working at the night, it's midnight, and you feel like you are still clear, you know exactly what you must do, and you stay up till 3 a.m. and you do work, and of course, you've done a lot of work. But the next day, your performance starts to decline simply because you stood up 3 hours extra the night before. And your next day will be effective. The next day you may be all cloudy, you may be moody, you may be fatigued, your mind may not be clear, and you may be easier and prone to distractions. So being optimal is not that you're restraining yourself from excelling or pushing past your boundaries. It is simply a way to set yourself up for success for the long term. Because short term success may put you ahead of others, but a short term win isn't going to be sustainable for a long term journey. So it all depends what is your goals and what are you trying to accomplish in life. If it is just something like a short term victory, then by all means, stay up every night, work harder than everyone, and screw your sleep, screw recovery. But if you know the journey you are taking, if the purpose you're trying to reach is far greater than something you can just accomplish in a mere month or week, then know that perhaps planning yourself up for success is the right way to go. And that optimal lifestyle may just be the way to go because you have to make sure every day you utilize every single moment to the utmost of the fullest, but also don't push too hard past what you're capable of, or that may be subjective to change and improvement. But just know, have a set line and work towards it, and maybe push a little bit each day. But just bear in mind the days where you go extra hard, the days where you do not sleep and stay up all night, Just be prepared that tomorrow will suffer. So have that in your mind so you have a peace of mind. So you know that if the next day you're performing shit, if the next day your willpower dips down, just know that you're not incompetent or that you are lazy. Just remember that I had worked hard yesterday, which is why I feel like this today. But my feelings don't dictate me, and I can control my mind. So although I may not feel clear today, I'll still show up today. I'll still show up and do what I can. If I don't do much work, that's fine. If I dip down in performance, that's fine. What it matters is I choose to control my mind and I showed up. And that is all that matters. And that is how you should talk to yourself when in those moments of doubt, when in those moments of discouragement. Because those days will come. But having an optimal lifestyle will help you reduce those times where you feel very fatigued, where you feel very run down, and perhaps even reduce the chance of you burning out. But I understand that optimal and being optimal isn't for everybody. But it definitely is one way to success for long term. It definitely is one way to keep you busy and productive, working towards a goal, a purpose that you're bound to accomplish if you just follow the set plans you had laid out for yourself. That being said, and talking about optimal, I am about to go into my first work block. Now, I did set it for 3 hours, but I might just push a little bit harder and go for 4 hours today because that is what life is about, is to improve every single day so that you know you are better than yesterday. It is 3:26. So I just came back from picking up my sister and it is absolutely hot outside, guys. But I'm grateful that I'm back because blasting the AC, it just feels absolutely amazing. Even though I'm covered in sweat and I will get pretty sticky, it's totally fine, guys. So being 3 p.m., I do have 3 more hours before I start dinner. But after dinner, I'll still work. But I guess the case is that what should I do with the rest of my 3 hours? Now, I plan on reading for an hour, and after that, I'll probably just head into another work block for coding, and that's gonna just be revising what I had learned so far and try make what I had learned relevant or apply what I had learned to what I want to do. So I guess that will help me ingrain the knowledge because sometimes if you're just looking at random symbols and numbers and you can't really relate back to it, the only way to then make the memory ingrained is to try apply it to your daily lives. Try write some things that may be of your interest, right? That will help you ingrain the knowledge. That goes for everything in life, guys. If you find something very hard to ingrain, if you are having trouble memorizing exactly what is being taught, that is perhaps because you and the thing you are learning, you don't think is going to be relevant to you. Thus, you just kind of forget about it because you think it's not going to be useful. But the way to make something useful is actually apply it to what you like doing. But that is the plan so far, guys, because at the moment my energy is still high. I haven't ate any more carbs after this morning, so at the moment I'm just surviving on protein, which I guess in a way helps me maintain my energy. Although I'm not sure if eating food does increase brain fog or is it just eating carbohydrates that gives you the brain fog effect. But either way, guys, I'm definitely not feeling as clear as the morning, and that is because I had built up some fatigue. But what I had realized with my body is that during the end of the night, or during towards the end of the night, I have another boost of motivation towards 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So around then is when I have a bit of a more drive to do the work, but around midday is when I start to die out in motivation. So I'm gonna use this time to just kind of revise what I had learned and only go into another extreme work block towards the end of the night. But that is the plans for the rest of the day. Now I know it can get repetitive, it can get kind of tedious, but that is life, guys. That is to improve your skills. You're going to do the same thing every single day because repetition engraves the habit, and you have to have a habit for you to then improve. So at the moment, that is my plan. And I'll see you guys in here in 3 hours after I have another amazing work block. I'll see you guys soon. So, guys, it is Currently 6:56, and the camera is a bit we're good to go. But this has been my day, and we are ending it off today a bit later because I did go shopping to buy some supplies, some groceries, because I ran out of pasta. And guys, we cannot run out of the fuel that feeds our body, to perform great every single day. But obviously, before I had to go, I did manage to get into some deep work, and I didn't actually want to go, but if I had the food around the house, then I would probably stay. But guys, either way, I would have had to go on either way to get the supplies. So I just decided to get out of my work block and go buy the food, the boring stuff, and come back and cook the food, which I'll do in a bit. But after that, I still should have an hour in the bare minimum to do something. So I think that is what I will do to utilize the rest of the time I do have after dinner to do some more work. Because, guys, honestly, once you start to associate any emotion behind what you do, you become obsessed with what you do. Now, I'm not entirely saying that I am totally in love with what I do because I had just overnight found my emotional connection, but I am slowly conditioning myself to build that emotional connection. That means to actually pay attention more to what I learn. That is actually to try and make what I had learned relevant to my life, to my goals, to my purpose, and reward myself constantly when I make an improvement. Incessantly reinforce that belief that I am going to become the person I want to be, and that these skill sets will help me reach that end point in life. And I guess that is very important for us to find joy and pleasure in doing anything. That is to find that passion, to find and incorporate what we do to what we do. And that is important. So, have that emotional connection to what you do, guys, is the lesson today. But also be optimal is the lesson today. Because any long-term race is a marathon, and we have to plan that out. We have to plan the marathon out, practice constantly, and then be prepared for the final race. But that final race is made up of little sprints, and that little conditioning is a result of having a schedule, a routine of being optimal. Because we can go hard one day, but if that affects our whole week, if that affects our whole month, if just going for a sprint and hoping that you can shortcut the shortcut in hopes that you will get there faster because you worked your ass off for the week. But if you cannot maintain that, if that is outside of your zone of comfort, of your optimal zone, and that you cannot sustain that, then you're setting yourself up for failure. But obviously, the exception to the rule is to know that you can sustain that, is to bite your teeth and have some grit and fight just as hard every single day. But I believe there's a better way to do this. Instead of sitting at your desk for 10 to 14 hours straight, working on something that you once loved but now you hate because you force yourself there, I believe there's a better way to do this. And it's to slowly condition yourself, to slowly sit at your desk 10 minutes, 1 minute extra just one day, and still keep that passion, still reinforce that reason as to why you're doing this. And never let that good emotion, that positive emotion, turn into a negative one. Because when you start condemning, once you start hating what you do, then all will go to fail. All will go to shit. And for you to then overcome yourself and overcome the world will be a much difficult task. You are then fighting more odds which already are stacked against you. So be wise, be smart about what you do with your daily routines. And that being optimal isn't a way to say that I have to schedule my day, I have to be rigid and all that. You don't have to be rigid. But just having a clear foundation and compass to guide you as to where you must go will lay the roots to your success. And if you follow those along with proven principles, then life will reward you once you deliver what you owe.
life will reward you once you prove your value and affect the people and the world. That being said, guys, has been an amazing day, and I do hope you guys had just learned as much as I did. But if not, like always, I will be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, I'm gonna go sort my sister out. So, good night.